everybody. So I'm back after shad. So I want to get enough this today to last me over the weekend. The last video I done getting shad, I just wanted enough to fish with that day. So I want to get enough to, where I can, throw fresh bait at catfish all weekend long if I get a chance to fish all weekend. So we're in a cold water scenario. The water temperature is 38 degrees. So them shad is going to be deep. It's cloudy. There's nothing to bring them up to the top of the water right now. It's just, they just ain't going to be there. Now, then if the sun's shining and the water temperature 38, you can find them in the shallows a little bit. But today they're going to be deep. As I've always said, understanding bait movements is a #1 key to success. For one thing, if you don't understand bait movements, you can't get no bait. So I'm gonna go out here. I haven't been here in a little while, but I got a pretty good idea where they're gonna be at when I get out here, and I'll show y'all where I think they'll be at on the map, and then we'll go to it. So I will see y'all here directly. So here we are going down this river channel. The dam's right back here. So I'm just gonna go up this bank right here, because it would be on the sunny side, and then I'm gonna come back down this bank on the other side if I don't see any up through here. So I'm figuring that them shad's gonna be right here on the inside of this bend with the wind blowing out of the east and everything. It's like the slack currents where everything sort of piles up. The wind's coming from behind us and the current's coming this way. So, like I said, I think that they'll probably be here just because. I don't know why. I got a pretty good idea why. It's because this is a mud bottom right here. The rest of this is sand and rocks, but that's mud right there. It's where all the sediments, comes down. It's a wash place out in the big old sand flat right here. So I'm thinking they'll be right here, but I'm gonna start scanning for them all the way down through here just in case. So I'm gonna put it over in 2D and just kind of ease down through there until I see them, and then get posted up on them and throw. And they might not be the first shad out here. I've seen it go different directions. So I'm kind of in the middle of the river channel now. I'm gonna hang a right and go down that where my boat's heading right now. So I'm gonna put her back in 2D because I'm getting pretty close to the ledge. And just keep going down that ledge until I spot some. Now I'm gonna put her in down scan to see if that's shad right there. It is not, it is a log. We don't want that. So that's all shad right there. I'm gonna put her down in down scan, but see they're around a log sticking up. It might be crappie too. So I'm not gonna throw there for sure. And I'm just gonna zigzag back and forth across that ledge. You'll see it getting deeper, and then you'll see it getting shallow. That's me zigzagging. Until I find them. I'm gonna put her in down scan, see if that's shad. See, that's shad, but there's not a lot of them. And a lot of fish there around them. Now then, I'm gonna go hang back left and zigzag back on the river side of that. And I'm just gonna work that pattern until I find them. And when I find a big group of them, I'll put the trolling motor down, and that's probably a log right there. You don't want to throw over that. I found that out the last time I was done this on video. Now then, see, we're already into shad. That's for sure shad right there. Big old cloud of them, but still not what we want to throw in. If we have to, we will. I just kind of think where that's doing that about another 100 yards, that light place right there is where we're gonna find the majority of them. We're getting fairly close to it. Get my stylus out in case we see a big old batch of them. I don't have my trolling motor down yet, which the wind's blowing and such that I'll have to go up on the other side of them and come into them. Let's see how close we are to that place. Lacks just a little bit. That place we're talking about is right there. And see, we're starting to get into some shad. That's a pretty good batch of them down there, about 20 foot deep. See? Anytime that you can find anomalies like that on your sonar, if I was to come to this lake for the first time, I would be like, I bet there's shad there, because that's just different. And there's a reason why it's different. And there's another place over here, this will hold shad too. It's just deep, and it's probably got a mud bottom there. And it's loaded down full of fish, so we'll probably run into some shad here directly. Yeah, there we go. See them? Scattered fish all through there. I'm on the shallow side of it, so I'm gonna hook left and go into it a little bit where it's a hair deeper. All this stuff up here is interference. So we should be getting across that place right now. See? We are getting into flat some shad right there. I'll put her on 2D. See? That is solid shad. Now then, I'm going to show you where we're at on comparison on that, where that place was. We're right on the edge of it. So we could circle right and stay into them shad right there. And I mean, that's just got flat the shad to it. So I'm gonna, and that's good enough to throw a net in. So I'm gonna shut everything down for a little bit, get set up. There's another batch of them we're coming in. Get my trolling motor up, and then I'll get in them and throw the net. Boys, it's cold out here today. God dog. I'm gonna get everything situated and get up on my back deck back here, whatever you want to call it, before I get into them again. I'm gonna point the trolling motor right down that track I just made until I get ready. I'm gonna get all my electronic stuff out of the way. Make sure this thing's still doing what I want it to do. I got a new camera and I'm sort of jacking with it too. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be shad hunting, not playing with this. So I'm gonna put this back over into that, and we're way off kilter, so I'm gonna hook right, get back into them shad. See, we're at 8 foot, we need to be where it gets deeper. But like I said, I'm sort of setting everything up. And whenever I get on top of them shad, I'm gonna spot lock that trolling motor because they're so deep you don't have to be on the run for them. And then that way I can be real steady on top of them, and I can let that net sink as far as possible because they're right on the bottom. It's kind of hard doing all this at once. I wanted y'all to see where I'm gonna spot lock this trolling motor. All right, see how that's getting up right there? So I'm gonna go just a little bit farther, kill my trolling motor, and I'll show y'all. It's just a big old cloud right there. I'm gonna let the boats drift quit. Now then I'm gonna spot lock it. I'm gonna get all my stuff ready and throw down in there to that mess. Now I've got my deep hole, Bet's deep hole throw net for this very purpose. Like I said, I carry about 3 throw nets with me. One of them's for stumps, one of them's for shallows, and one of them's for this. I just loop this stuff up in my hand, get it ready. and put the top of that net in my hand like this. Now then, see, I've gotten off of them a little bit. So here's where jog function comes in handy. I'm gonna jog her to the right. They wasn't over to the light right. I'm gonna take her off a spot lock and see if I can get back over them again. Probably the beating on the boat of the waves and everything got rid of them right there while I was messing around. We're getting back into them slowly right now. We're back over them right now. I'm gonna spot lock her there. I've got my bucket over here. I get up on this big back, or my back seat. Make sure my net's all straightened out. It was froze. I take this lead line, put it over my hand like that, and take the other part, open her up like that, make sure I don't fall out of the boat, and you just throw it out there and it opens like that. And we should have some shad. And we got shad. That's enough to fish all weekend in with. Just as easy as that, guys. So I'm gonna pack everything up and go to the boat ramp, get out on the boat ramp, and then I'm gonna show y'all how I take care of them throughout the weekend. So guys, I'm back home. Make sure I'm doing this right. So I stopped off and got me a bag of ice on the way home. And you might ask yourself, why is he getting ice if it's so cold outside? Well, for one thing, I don't never want my bait to get above temperature. Another thing, if you put your bait on the ice in a cooler, it won't freeze. And that's the last thing you want to happen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take half this bag out, put it down in my nasty old bait cooler I got. Then I'm gonna take these shad out of my bucket and put them in a Ziploc bag. Now I do that for a reason too. I don't want my shad touching the ice. For one thing, your ice is chlorinated. So them fish smell that. It's just a personal preference of mine. Number two, as them shads in there in that ice are doing that, it knocks the scales off of them, releases the oil in your cooler. You want your oil to be released in the water when you're fishing. So I always put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in my cooler. Skipjack I don't do so much. I try to if I got everything going, but I'll put about half of them in one Ziploc bag so they'll spread out real thin. Try to take the air out of it if you can. And then throw it on that first layer of ice you got in there. And then do the same thing with the other bag and then put the other rest of the ice in there. Like I said, everybody does this differently. This is just the way I've always done it. It's always done really well for me. Some people will take these shad and put them in the refrigerator for 3 or 4 days before they use them in the wintertime. They say that that your shads that the fish are feeding are winter kill shad, and they ain't used to them being so fresh. Well, I just always like my bait to be as fresh as possible. That being said, like I said, everybody's got their own thing to do. And then I'll take the rest of that ice and top my cooler off. And cover them pretty good. They won't freeze and they won't get above temperature unless it's 95 degrees. And then I do a little bit different. I'll get a big cooler and pack it full of ice. So the weather's going to be jacked up this weekend. I don't know whether I'm going to the Mississippi on Sunday or what I'm going to do quite yet. I might just drive to Arkansas tomorrow and fish, and then fish the Mississippi Sunday. I don't know. I'll have to keep a watch on the weather. It's supposed to flood south of us. It's going to be a messy weekend. Here in my part of the country, it's going to rain all day to Saturday, and then be cold and windy Sunday. So, I don't know. But until the next time, I will see y'all later. Thanks for watching.